Episode 9. Strength for the family watching you. Welcome back. Your strength impacts everyone. Today I want to talk about something that doesn't always get attention. The family who is watching you. When you're walking through treatment, living with a chronic condition, or facing uncertainty, your loved ones are walking through it too, just in a different way. They don't feel it in their body, but they carry it in their hearts. They see you struggle. They notice the moments you try to hide, the fatigue, the appointments, the quiet shifts in your energy. And sometimes what they see feels heavier than what they know how to express. They worry, often silently, often constantly. Their minds go to places they don't always say out loud. Are they going to be okay? What can I do? Am I doing enough? They feel powerless. And that may be one of the hardest parts, because loving someone usually means fixing, helping, protecting. But in seasons like this, there are things they simply cannot fix, and that can leave them feeling helpless, even when they are doing everything they can. So I want to speak gently into that space. To the one walking through this, your family's reactions are not a burden. They are a reflection of their love, even when it comes out imperfectly. And to the family, your presence matters more than your perfection. You don't have to have the right words. You don't have to fix everything. Just being there consistently is powerful. This is where family strength is built, not in having all the answers, but in choosing to stay connected in the middle of the unknown. It looks like honest conversations, even when they're uncomfortable. It looks like giving each other grace on hard days. Sometimes, strength is sitting together in silence. Because this journey isn't meant to be carried alone, on either side. Not perfectly, but powerfully. My peace, my faith, and my response were not just for me. They were shaping the atmosphere around me. They were quietly stabilizing my family too. Because whether we realize it or not, the way we carry ourselves in hard seasons becomes something others lean on. When I choose calm, even when I didn't feel calm inside, it created space for them to breathe. When I chose patience, it softened the urgency and fear in the room. When I chose trust, it reminded them that this situation, no matter how uncertain, was not out of God's hands. And the opposite was true too. When I panicked, they felt it. When I spiraled, it put them into that same current. When fear took over my thoughts, it didn't stay contained, it spread. Not because I did anything wrong, but because we are connected. Your family may not always have the words for it, but they feel your energy. They read your tone. They watch your reactions. They take cues from how you are carrying what you've been given. That's not pressure, it's influence. And that influence can become a quiet strength in your home. In Galatians 6:2 it says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." That verse is beautiful and true. We are not meant to do this alone. We are called to support one another, to lift, to stand in the gap for each other. But there is another side to that truth. The person walking through the storm also has a role. Not to carry it perfectly, not to carry it without emotion, but to carry it with intention. Because when we let our burdens spill out in every direction without anchoring them in faith, it can overwhelm the very people trying to help us. But when we carry our burdens with faith, when we bring them to God first, when we process them with honesty but also with trust, we make room for others to come alongside us without being crushed under the weight. It becomes shared, not transferred. This doesn't mean you hide your hard days. It doesn't mean you suppress your fear or pretend to be strong. It means you anchor yourself. It means saying, yes, this is heavy, but I am not carrying it alone. It means letting your family see both your humanity and your hope, because that balance is what strengthens them. They don't need you to be unshakable. They need to see how you return to peace when you are shaken. They don't need you to have no fear. They need to see what faith looks like in the presence of fear. That is what stabilizes a family. Not perfection, but a steady returning. Returning to trust. Returning to peace. Returning to the truth that even in this, God is still holding all of you. And when that becomes your posture, your strength doesn't just carry you, it quietly carries them too. Showing strength doesn't mean hiding reality. I don't hide my health realities from my family. They see more than I could ever explain anyway. They notice the fatigue in my body even when I try to push through it. They recognize the quiet days, the slower pace, the moments when I need to sit instead of stand. They know when I am tired. They know when I need transfusions. They know when I need help, even before I ask. And over time, I've realized something important. Hiding it doesn't protect them. It just isolates me. Because when I pretend everything is fine, but they can feel that it's not, it creates confusion. It builds distance instead of connection. So I choose honesty. Not overwhelming honesty, not fearful honesty, but grounded, steady truth. Because showing strength does not mean pretending everything is fine. Strength is not denial. Strength is not silence. Strength is not carrying everything alone so no one else has to see it. Real strength is something much deeper. It means showing resilience in the middle of struggle. It means letting people see that this is hard and still choosing to stand. It means allowing your life to be real, not polished. It means modeling calm, faith, and peace, even when things are uncertain. That doesn't mean I always feel calm. It means I return to calm. It doesn't mean I never feel afraid. It means fear doesn't get to lead. It doesn't mean I have all the answers. It means I trust the one who does. And sometimes, strength sounds like simple, honest words spoken out loud. This is difficult, but I am held. We are going to get through this together. Those words matter. They give your family something steady to hold on to. They remind them that while the situation may be heavy, it is not hopeless. Because what your family needs most is not perfection. They don't need a version of you that is untouched by struggle. They need a version of you that is real and anchored. Someone who can say, "This is hard," without losing hope. Someone who can acknowledge reality without surrendering to fear. Someone who invites them in, not just to the struggle, but to the faith that carries it. That kind of honesty builds trust. It tells your family, you don't have to guess what's happening. You don't have to carry silent worry. You are part of this with me. And in that shared space, something powerful happens. The burden becomes lighter, not because it disappears, but because it is no longer carried alone. So I let them see. Not everything all at once, not every passing fear, but enough to stay connected, enough to stay honest, enough to let love do what it was meant to do. Walk through this together. Because strength isn't about hiding the reality, it's about facing it with faith, with courage, and with the people who love you right beside you. Practical ways to strengthen your family. Here are some things that have helped us. Simple, intentional choices that created strength, not just for me, but for all of us together. Share your heart honestly. Let them see what's real. Tell them what scares you. Tell them what's been heavy on your mind. But also tell them what is encouraging you, what is giving you hope, and what you're holding on to. Honesty builds trust. It removes the guessing. It quiets the unspoken fears they may already be carrying. And it creates a space where your family doesn't have to wonder what you're feeling. They can walk with you in it. Honesty doesn't mean sharing every anxious thought. It means sharing what matters, with intention, with openness, and with love. Because when truth is spoken in a grounded way, it brings people closer instead of pushing them away. Model peace. Peace is not something you wait to feel. It's something you choose to return to. There will be moments when emotions rise, when fear feels loud, when uncertainty presses in. That's normal. But not every feeling has to become your reaction. You can pause. You can breathe. You can choose a different response. Choosing calm doesn't mean you don't care. It means you are not letting fear take the lead. And when your family sees you come back to peace, even after a hard moment, it teaches them that they can do the same. Peace becomes something that spreads quietly, steadily. Invite participation. Let them be part of your journey. Sometimes we think we are protecting our loved ones by doing everything ourselves. But what often strengthens people is not distance, it's involvement. Let them help in a small, meaningful way. A meal, a ride to an appointment, sitting with you during a long day, praying with you or for you. These things may seem small, but they give your family a sense of purpose. Because feeling useful brings strength. It turns helplessness into connection. It reminds them, I may not be able to fix this, but I can still be part of it. And that matters deeply. Encourage joy. Joy is not something you postpone until everything is better. It belongs here too. Watch a movie together. Sit outside and talk. Play with your grandchildren. Laugh, even if it feels unexpected. Christina and I have binge-watched several shows and have had times of laughter and just being together, sharing our favorite snacks. And those moments become anchors. They remind you, They remind your family that this season, as hard as it is not only made up of struggle. Joy doesn't ignore reality, it brings life into it. There is still life happening, there is still connection, there is still light. Joy restores what fear tries to drain. Lead in gratitude. Gratitude shifts the atmosphere, not because everything is perfect, but because it helps you notice what is still good. A good report, a kind nurse, a quiet morning, a moment of strength, a conversation that brought peace. When you begin to name those things out loud, you invite your family to see them too. And something changes. The focus moves from what is wrong to what is still present, from what we fear to what we've been given today. Gratitude builds resilience. It strengthens the heart to keep going. These practices are not about doing everything perfectly. They are about creating a home where honesty, peace, connection, joy, and gratitude can live alongside the hard things. Because the goal isn't to remove the struggle, it's to walk through it together in a way that strengthens everyone involved. And over time, those small choices become something powerful. A family that is not just surviving the season, but growing stronger in the middle of it. Protecting their hearts. Just as you guard your own peace, guard theirs too. Because in a season like this, peace is not automatic. It's something you protect. It's something you choose again and again in the middle of conversations, reactions, and emotions that can easily pull everyone off balance. Sometimes family members worry excessively, not because they lack faith, but because they love deeply and feel helpless. They don't know how to fix what you're facing. They don't know how to carry it for you. So their minds try to do what their hands cannot. They overthink. They imagine worst-case scenarios. They hold on to fear because it feels like the only way to stay engaged. And you can't remove every fear from them. You can't control what they think or feel. You can't promise outcomes you don't know. But you can influence the environment they are living in. You can model trust. Not a perfect, unshakable trust, but a returning trust. A grounded trust. A visible trust. The kind that says, without even needing many words, we are facing something hard, but we are not without hope. We may not know what's next, but we are not alone in it. That kind of posture speaks louder than explanations. It steadies the room. It gently interrupts the cycle of fear and replaces it with something stronger. Because when your family sees you pause instead of panic, when they see you pray instead of spiral, when they hear you speak life instead of only fear, it gives them permission to do the same. Your example becomes their reference point, not just in the season, but in their own future challenges. They begin to learn. This is what it looks like to face uncertainty with faith. This is what it looks like to hold fear without being ruled by it. This is what it looks like to walk through something hard and not fall apart. You are teaching them quietly, consistently, how to respond to life, with hope, with patience, with faith. And that is a gift that goes far beyond this moment. Because long after this season passes, what they will remember is not just what you went through, but how you walked through it, how you spoke, how you responded, how you returned to peace. And that example will live in them. So guard your peace, not just for yourself, but for the atmosphere you are creating around you. Not with pressure, not with perfection, but with intention. Because your steady, anchored presence doesn't just carry you, it becomes a covering of calm for the people you love. Faith anchors the whole household. Psalm 46:1 says, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Not a distant help, not an occasional help, an ever-present help, right here, in the middle of the hard moments, the long days, the uncertain nights. And your family is watching more than your actions. They are watching your source. They notice not just what you do, but where your strength comes from. They see that it's not just determination holding you together. It's not just personality or willpower or being strong for everyone else, because there are moments when human strength isn't enough. Moments when energy runs out. Moments when emotions feel too heavy to carry on your own. And yet, you're still standing. You're still steady. You're still choosing peace. You're still finding a way to breathe, to trust, to move forward. And that makes them pause, because they begin to realize this strength is coming from somewhere deeper. They see that your strength is not self-generated, it's God-sustained. They see you pause and pray instead of react. They hear you speak hope even when the situation hasn't changed. They watch you return to peace after being shaken. And that speaks louder than anything you could explain. It shows them what it looks like to run to God, not away from Him in trouble. It shows them that faith is not just something you say, it's something you live. And slowly, something shifts in them. They begin to anchor there too, not because you told them they should, but because they've seen that it works. They've seen that when everything else feels uncertain, God is still steady. They've seen that when your strength runs low, His doesn't. They've seen that peace is still possible, not because life is easy, but because God is present. Your life becomes an invitation to trust Him, an invitation to lean on Him, an invitation to discover the same refuge for themselves. And maybe they start small, a quiet prayer, a moment of surrender, a simple, God help me too. And that's how faith grows, not just in you, but around you. Because when your family sees that your strength comes from God, it gives them a place to go with their own fear. A place that is steady. A place that is safe. A place that does not change when everything else does. So when you lean on Him, you're not just strengthening yourself, you're pointing your entire family to the refuge that will hold all of you. If you are walking through illness, treatment, or uncertainty, remember, your strength matters. Not because you have to carry everything, not because you must be perfect, but because your calm, your faith, and your peace create a safe space for your loved ones. Be honest, be anchored, be steady, and know that God will also be their strength through you and beside you. If this episode encourages you, share it with a family member who needs to feel seen and supported today. Like it by clicking the thumbs up, follow me by clicking the bell sign. This will help me reach more people. Until next time, stay anchored.